Now, in the midst of the self-inflicted mess that the Tory party finds itself in, you would think that the Labour Party would take this opportunity, grab the bull by the horns and make it clear what they stand for, to give us, the voting public, an opportunity to potentially take a punt on them. Surely this is the perfect time for the Labour Party to stake its claim and clarify some policies, to give us a clue, so those of us who feel potentially and politically homeless can consider them as a viable alternative as we watch the Conservatives eat themselves from the inside out. But the Labour Party simply have no policies. This week, Sam Tarry, Angela Rayner's boyfriend, appeared on the picket line in solidarity with the striking rail workers. He dared to get off the fence and pledge his support for a policy, yes, to keep public sector pay in line with inflation. He did a string of TV interviews to confirm his stance, but he was immediately sacked from his post by Sir Keir Starmer for making policy up on the hoof. This is Sam speaking to LBC about his sacking.
Many of my colleagues from many different wings of the party are supporters of the trade union movement. There have been a mixture of views about whether or not we should have been on the picket lines today or not, but all of them would fully understand that collectivism, in terms of the values that we have as Labour Party MPs, means standing in solidarity with people, particularly low-paid workers.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with them, but at least he was prepared to come out and say where he stood for, and dare you ask a member of the party a question regarding their stance. This seems to be the standard reply.
With trade unions.
I take your point. I'm just struggling to understand why the Labour Party can't say whether or not it thinks that workers, rail workers in this case, deserve an inflation-matched pay rise. It's not a difficult question. And for a Labour Party, surely you're going to have to develop a position on that.
That's for their trade union to negotiate.
But you're the party that wants to be in government. If you're in government, you would have to take a position on that.
You deserve pay rises, but I'm not going to cut across what is a matter for negotiation at this moment.
So what is the point of the Labour Party? Labour's longest-serving leader, Tony Blair, abandoned the working class with his policies. Jeremy Corbyn did an about-turn on Brexit and decided, despite all his previous anti-EU rhetoric and the party's core working-class base supporting it, that he would also go the same way and abandon the party roots and denounced Brexit, thereby losing the support of the loyal so-called Red Wall, who, until Boris came along, it seemed ingrained in their DNA to vote Labour. Sir Keir Starmer is remaining quiet. He doesn't want to expose the rift between the two factions, a deep cavern dividing the Guardian-reading liberal elite London-centric wing from their working-class trade union base that built the party and still offers heavy funding towards it. The lack of clear, coherent policy and the excuse that it's impossible to give clear guidelines because they aren't in government will not wash with the British public. It is time for Sir Keir Starmer, who many claim has integrity despite potentially lying about Beergate, in my opinion, although he was cleared by the police over it, to be honest to the British public. So I ask again, what does the Labour Party stand for? What are their policies?